Hey, you there? Good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing this afternoon? Swaliga Grassroots Movement, we in the building. Yes, I was just plugging up the last piece of wire there just now, and boom, ready to go. So, you gotta big up everybody who tuned in, waiting, grassroots, all the grassroots folks out there. Big up on yourself. Large up on yourself every time. Seeing? Yeah, man. Much love going out to all the folks who are listening, all our, yeah, that's it. Much love going out to all of folks out there who are listening. Yeah. Grassroots ethic, large up on yourself. Remy, you don't know. You large from morning, brother. From morning you large. Nadika, big up yourself and all the rest grassrooters. I don't know, like Mystic and UI and the Annie Reach yet and all the grassrooters, man. Grassroot JJ too. Yeah. So big up on yourself, okay? So we got a nice program for y'all this afternoon. Yeah, I gonna love it self. And call up your friends, call up your loved one, put out your head through the window, tell your neighbors, let them know that we on the most popular talk show right now. Controversial, yeah, but with the truth. Some people be controversial with lies, but we controversial with the truth, and that's what matters the most. That's what we're good at, and we're doing it every day, every week now. So we're getting better at it now for the past 7 years, going to 8 years now. That's a lot of practice, eh? Getting good and telling the truth straight. So enjoy it. Got grassroots, and tell the people here, only one queen we got us today.
Good afternoon, radio listeners. Glad to be in the house.
Yeah, good afternoon. Swaligan Grassroots and Martiners. Here we are. Doing what we do best, and that's defend the people of St. Martin, defend this island that is that was transmitted to us by our ancestors, protected, so that their descendant can continue and having something of their own. And of course, we got people who grassroots also, but not defending and protecting the people's interests. You miss out Grassroots Freddy.
Oh yeah, Grassroots Freddy.
Yes, sir.
But he should be on his way coming.
You're convinced of that?
Well, no, I'm convinced. When you walk in, then I know.
Okay, you're putting that kind of block as old people.
No,
say.
because Freddy's a fella I was on time, man.
Okay, then he and Troy.
He knows,
He helped us fix the wires.
He helped us fix the wires today. That's why we stay a little longer. Less hand to fix.
Oh, Lord. Yes, man. Anyhow, what we gonna do, we gonna get the definition. You know what you gotta do, and that is simply to make sure everybody here and know that the program is on. And we're gonna get a definition. We're gonna roll for this evening.
Our definition, and we're gonna start with the motto. Simple, sweet, to the point. Goes like this: it does not require a majority to prevail, but rather an irate, tireless minority keen to set brush fires in people's minds. So that's what we're about to do now. Set some brush fires in our brain. Okay? We're going to be now here for a while. And the definition of who's a Swaligan and who's a St. Martin means the same. A St. Martin is a person who can trace his or her roots from one or both parents in 1963 or before. These are bloodline relatives who cannot be separated by nationality or colonial borders. You see? It's not about born here or born to be here, boy. No. It's about blood. Blood relatives, you understand? We are people of faith. We are people of love. And we are united people. People of unity. And we will pursue the plan that God has for our life in this paradise that we call St. Martin. Swalichi, Swaliga, no matter what name they give it, it's ours. So I could do what I want. And once we say so to so, God bless this beautiful island.
Yes, man.
Yes, sir.
And all honors goes to the ancestors.
Yes, all respect go to the ancestors, and we welcome them. Welcome all our ancestors in presence this afternoon, and guide the program in the right way so that people can be fruitful. Whatever come out of our mouth, ancestors is guiding us.
Sir, Ashe.
Ashe.
This evening we going to touch on. It's a bit broad, but it says something. In other words, we must fight insignificance, and you'll see what that is when we get there. But before we go there, and then we're gonna do some continuation on the Black History, our history month, which is rolling, but doesn't mean we can shut down. We will continue. Don't forget that we have given ourselves an additional mission, and that is black empowerment. So we just give particular attention to the month of February, but for us it continues. It doesn't mean we will slow down until next February. We just can't just continue, but we are recognizing the acceptance, the promulgation of the month as Black History Month. And it should be a month where the black man, and that's an interesting angle too, because some of the time when they say we know black man, I don't want to knock words because I don't know what. But we touch on it some time back and say it is not black in the literal sense. It is black in the sense of being a handle by which we walk. And then, the COVID is an ongoing situation, and we know what that is. We still encourage everyone to be cautious about what is happening. We know Guadeloupe, they say they monitor in Guadeloupe because the cases is rising, but St. Martin is a little particular because the cases are there, but it may be not. So maybe we are a little more resistant. That doesn't mean that we should take down our guard. As for France, they always try to be different. And I just say if the world walk with a 5-pound bag of sugar, just because they want to be different, they say a 5.5-pound bag of sugar. Just to be different, complicated. In other words, everybody was shut down before they line up with them. They were resistant, and it looked like all road leading to that in the sense that the situation is not getting better.
We got to see what Guadeloupe, if Guadeloupeans decide to take their own way of protecting themselves from the Guadeloupe medication, and if France don't like that, then they can come with all kind of ways to make the Guadeloupeans feel like, you see, you want to take our vaccine, I want to take our medication, our local medication, look to going up, and maybe it could be a lie, just to force them and scare them, to pepper the behind.
Yeah, man.
I don't think they start using the medication yet.
No, it's at this
I think what happened is the cases, from the school, when they send some of them to do tests and all of that, that's why they probably can know.
Okay. I got a quote before I set up we're going to come back on not further development, but we're going to maybe point out to you where those who choose to go back physically to Africa, which country they choose or prefer to go to. We got a choice. Africa large, and she got room for all her children.
Oh, yeah.
So we good with that. That's not a problem. I got a quotation before we go into the Guadeloupe part. Because Guadeloupe is shut down today, nothing in and out, and what is different is there's literally nobody visible, but the road is littered with tons of rocks.
Rocks.
Rocks. You can't circulate, but nobody got a more in it, eh? And when I tell you truckload
big rocks.
Big rocks and dot.
So like a strike then?
Yeah, the place shut down. Yeah, completely.
Shut down as a strike?
Shut down as St. Martin shut down in 2019. Eh?
Okay, I thought you were saying shut down for COVID.
No. Place shut down on strike.
On strike? Striking against the vaccine?
No, different social situations where that is building up or building up for a long time.
Okay.
And this time around, they must have said, well, gendarme may try to break strike. So this time, it is like, and across the road, you could find 10 load per area, you know. So that means that nothing around through that in a long time.
Yeah, somebody Monday when I come off the radio, someone asked me, what's going on in Guadeloupe? I said, nothing on Guadeloupe. So if you're walking on the radio, you know something going on in Guadeloupe. Maybe start from then.
No, say when down there, tension will build up. And it come to fruition today. And as we speak, it's going on.
Okay.
And we know one of the reasons, what the French government put in place. No, not put in. One of the materials that they use is they got these special tanks, painted in gendarme colors
to go through.
To be able to go through. So if you got 3, 4, 5 cars, well, you should run through the cars. If you got you got fire across the street, you run through that like nothing.
Yes.
But the thing you going through, no, you ain't going through that with day. I know, they ain't big enough, boy. They ain't big enough, boy. Right. So, but it shows that you have to improvise. You cannot stand still. They learning, so you might as well learn. Mm-hmm. That's the important thing. Then you are not fit to live if you don't adapt, if you don't learn, which is what we call experience. Mm-hmm. So I got a quotation that said the ground clearly. Malheur, and I'm reading, malheur au peuple couché, c'est la position que les dictateurs préfèrent voir prendre par leur sujet. C'est aussi la position qui prévaut dans les cimetières. Dieu, les ancêtres n'aident personne s'ils restent couchés. So if I turn it back, dishonor to those who lay down, sleep, don't do nothing. Mm-hmm. It is a position that your oppressor, the dictators prefer for you to take. It is also the position and the cemeteries, meaning everybody lying down.
Yeah. So like you're dead.
Yeah. Okay. And the ancestors do not help those who lies down. You got to get up and fight and stand for something, for what you believe in, and you only get what is important to you if you stand up for something. I mean, if you stand up and fight for it.
Of course.
When you don't do anything, you don't get nothing. And in a world where you got leadership that is into nothing, apart from defending their own personal interests, securing their salary, living large, doors being opened for them, nothing happens. But there's always a rendezvous back with normal life. That's the thing that they should forget. I mean, they should not forget. And the Guadeloupe people has proven that they can stand up. In St. Martin, similarly, we have the only thing that we have gotten over the last 2007, which is a change of status, was done by the people standing up, going on the street and fighting for it.
Yep.
Other than that, everything, for example, the situation with the airport, the seller now for the airport, nothing is going to come out of that unless the people take to the streets and go and stand up for it, because and it's unfortunate that's not the way it's supposed to be. Where would we find time if every time there's something that is being done, you got to go along to the street for it.
Yeah.
And
you vote people.
And you vote people to take care of your interests.
Of those things.
Okay, and that's the angle or the path that we just can't understand. And this is when you hear people say, "But if the government don't do it, you do it." Yeah, not me. I don't believe in that. If I give you a job, if you employ someone to do a job for you, to build your house, to clean your house, I don't know what, to mind your children, or whatever, to build a plan for you or do something, if they don't do it, what you do? You get vexed with the person, you get rid of them because they are not doing their job. But you don't go and do it and continue having that person there as if nothing happened. So we, the people, elect people to take care of our business, and guess what they do? They don't do the job, and they come back, and we heading into a political period as we speak. They coming back, yes, to come and tell us vote for them again.
Yeah.
The problem is not the politician doing that. It is we who want to fall into the game, profiteering, because it is turning into a time of marketing. Everybody is seeing their chance to get my little digging. I may get my little blocks. I may get my little favor, a little $20, a little $50 in my hand, extra small, a rung of drinks, and then suddenly you stop worrying about the country, and just because it's like a party, you're living, that is like a party you're going through, not knowing it is the period that is most critical for your future and your country. So there ain't no time to be frolicking. That is a time to be serious, to be sober. And this is what has happened. So they go frolicking on Sunday, and then on Monday, they when they catch themselves, they find out that they really like the same people, drag down those that was speaking to them and tell them do this, do that, and we got to pay the pocasse. Mm-hmm. You know, we got to pay the pocasse. So the whole idea then is we could wish that the people be wiser. I don't know if that's going to happen for next year 2022 election. I really see. I'm not convinced that. The people is going to be conscious enough to
make a change.
You know?
Yeah. But the consciousness coming from both sides right now, as we could see. I'm talking about that airport problem. That's a long-going situation with that airport in Grand Case, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they got a bubble going on in there that benefiting a certain people and messing up the country.
Yes.
Making this side of the island look like fools when we could have been more advanced, creating jobs, doing things for the country. They prefer to put it in the outsiders' hands, and they get rich, keep St. Martin back, and just play the game.
Our children on the blocks.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And government is along with them.
But government who doing it.
But the thing about it is those are the people voting, voting strong in every district. Landslide. So that's what the people wanted. That's what the people getting.
Think that they wanted though.
Yeah, man.
Impossible.
Yeah, that they want.
No. They was told they was getting jobs. Even in the lycée, they created
speaking of Mike,
commercial class for them. And I was like, why would you customer service create a class in customer service to put them in, and you're not expanding the airport? So my question was like, why would you do that? Are you fooling the children? Are they going to go and walk on the Dutch side, on the south side on Juliana Airport? Come on. Why can't our own stay at home? Give us something that really is qualified for us. You're killing the economy on the north side, and you pretending to help people. I think the population voted for the Nouveau Saint-Martin with a backing behind of it that, yes, new things come in and now you're going to get jobs. Not knowing that it was expropriation and replacement.
That's Nouveau.
But
they vote for Nouveau Saint-Martin, like you say. Nouveau Saint-Martin meaning it will be a new Saint Martin. For the people who do understand French, a new Saint Martin is, Saint Martin used to be predominantly black English-speaking people. The new Saint Martin will be a takeover of European-speaking French. That is what they vote for, because they campaign on that. A new Saint Martin. If Saint Martin is in my hand, why should I want to change it? I want to keep it in my hand. All I want to know is, what are you going to do for me and my people? Me and my people, what are you coming with? What are the benefits if I should vote for you? But the St. Martin people don't vote for those kind of things. They vote for a popularity contest. Which one of these politicians is the most popular? Daniel Gibbs happened to be the last popular politician. And he come up with a popularity contest. The man went large, and St. Martin gone wholesale. so this is what we got to learn. Plug in this one all the time. This we got to learn to understand. When we voting, and Grasso to us are here in a program this morning, and they ask that question. People, they say, one of the host say, people, the politician will come and sell your program. To me, if a politician bring a program to me that he's going to do that, I'm going to look at the guy and ask that guy, since I know you saying you're going to do for St. Martin, show me what have you done before. And if you can prove me where you had stood up for this country before, where you spent time fighting for this country before, I cannot believe you're going to come with nothing tomorrow or today. Because in the past, you didn't prove me that you're going to do anything for me. You even never go and protest for this country for nothing yet. So how can I believe that you're going to protest tomorrow? So these are the things that we have to be looking out for. The track record of a politician is what you're supposed to be looking for. In final words, the track record of a politician. What have you done for me lately? If you haven't done nothing in this country, you never stand up for nothing, I never hear you involved in nothing. So for the time that you're being involved, what have you do for us? You can't give me nothing, I can't vote for you. And if we learn to vote like that, I think we're going to start to change things back in our favor. And stop this Nouveau Saint-Martin stupidness.
You just ruined it for a lot of politicians.
Oh, a lot of them ain't do nothing. Wow. But we can't vote for them then.
There's an important point I noticed in St. Martin. Both on the northern and southern side, the airport there exists. They're fixing back the airport. They want to enlarge the runway. But they don't look at the commercial part to able to upgrade to bring in night flights. They don't look to able to commercial the airline and promote. So it's obviously on one flat level. So Air Auntie, Air Carib always hold a monopoly. And they know that I understand could even buy out Air France because they get loaded off of St. Martin people back. And then they keep on raising the price. So they're not checking the price in favor of St. Martin people. They just keep raising up the price. More than to go Europe. So when I look at it, a lot of things was put in place, but they just fix things, fix building, enlarge, looking to fix. But they're looking to do the commercial part by bringing different airlines and like upgrading the stage to commercial and promote that money could come and stay in this place. Because if you own the port, the airport, the abattoir, you should be able to have at least have the economy going to your people. And we don't have no local plane, no local air mountain.
We could have, but they don't want it. Could have.
Well, it's a very complicated, at least on that count, and it got to do with the vote. How should we say, putting back the same people every time? But it could be explained. I really think it could be explained. Now, is it acceptable as individuals? No, it is not. But it is what is taking place can be explained, and it is a science. They know what to do to get attention, how to turn the head of the people. It is the people that is permitting themselves to be. So when election come, guess what going to happen? Everybody know. All voters know. Those the recidivists, meaning those are customers taking money or merchandising their rights to vote, is preparing also for what they could get, selling themselves, their family, or votes that they think to the highest bidder. That should not be the situation. I think elections is basically a sacred undertaking that engages the whole community and not on individuals and hundreds of individuals taking money, taking favors, seeking promises for their votes. That is basically what. So even if they are conscious, at that point in time they are all drunk with hopes, or they are drunk with favors, and they got to realize that this is not the time for that. But how do you explain to people who they keep hungry? Some of them sees it as this my little chance. They do not know. So let me say, if I go get a little something now, I'm going to take it, and that is exactly would explain why every time these people get back and their pockets are deep. Now, how does their pocket get deep? You got all kind of community. You got those that got money, and you got those that don't got money. But those that got money is those that is taking control of the economy. So who got money, for example, whether we take the whole island, the Indian, Chinese, Arabs, the Europeans, and since these people do not want to run, what they do is they find proxy in local faces. And they go to these local these local parties and they finance their campaign, but they didn't finance the campaign because they like the individual or the head of the list or the person who found that list. They are doing it for favors. And what is the favors? Is to get contracts and make back the money. So it's sort of an investment. I dumping $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, which in turn permits these or euro permits these politicians to go on a spending spree, on a vote buying spree, and they find takers. So all these, and they gives it to some individuals who you everyday face, but they now suddenly turn money buys, and they could dip their hand in their pocket and say, hey, you hold that, and you hold that. Okay, you want a vote? And the price of a vote some of the time is little or nothing. So much so these people don't understand what how they are giving away this country. It what a couple of some of the time $100 get you a vote. Some of the time less. Some of the time they give you drugs free now. Hey, okay, the drugs you into, get your drugs, and that's good enough. You can vote that day.
Sometimes there's a promise.
And others is a promise of a job. These are the reasons why the people don't think. The people is into business. Maybe they should, but the state that they keep the people in, it makes them more susceptible to accept these bribes, and the person now when they get in, there's no accident. On the other hand, why these parties act the way they act, giving away jobs to non-St. Martin and Europeans getting everything. You had a contract, from one day to the next, you lose it, and it's given to particular people because it's time to cash in. I support you now when I tell you I'm interested in that particular contract. You can't say no because you're also running in the next couple of years, so you're going to lap your tail, you ain't going to make much of a noise with nobody. And this is how the situation consistently degrades, and as a consequence, we lose every time. What we are worrying about, of course, is it's going to continue. That's the problem. We got also a very interesting but sinister realities is that here's how to start. We understand, because every day you're getting new pieces. I understand the Haitian communities is thinking about putting together a list. One. The next talk about upon, they said, only that the Haitian community and the Dominican community now work together to put a list together. So I said, but wait a minute, this ain't done. And then now we're hearing now that the European, the Dominican, and the European, the Haitian, Dominican, and European making a list to come the next election. So I said, but wait, this ain't look like a finish. But when you play with puppy lick your mouth. If we create an environment where we make it look like everything and everybody could do what they want, then they eventually will do what they want. They get the signal that we are into nothing. They know the politicians are not, or the political parties are not going to react because they may be now keeping a little alliance with these people, and rather than being bold enough to join the grassroots, because it is about us, our country, for our ascendant and our descendant, to be able to call ours, because it is, they sell it cheap. And it is likely to happen. I can't say I have more information than that, but like you say, grassroots, in St. Martin, every rumor is truth. So we would just end up with confirmation of that as we go along.
So you're hearing that Haitians, Spanish, and European
want to put together
and join together and put up.
And then yes.
So the whole plan is to cripple St. Martin people.
No, put them out.
Yeah.
You know that famous Fred Flintstone character at the end of the story.
No, but that shouldn't be allowed in the law, because St. Martin got a people. So how everybody that comes in here, then they might as well go look for a Jamaican, a Dominican, a Guyanese, put all those people on the list instead of vote against the man.
Well, how much time we have? We said, if you find an ass, you ride him. If we are not big enough to defend our turf, then somebody should take it.
I find because, okay, what they're going to say is that St. Martin is not independent, so you can't decide with a law. Okay.
Has nothing to do with that, though.
I find, as St. Martin people, if that list come out, if that list should ever bear fruit to come out and be brave to come out, St. Martin people gotta come together and close this place down and make sure that election don't go on. We cannot accept foreigners to gang up together. That's like ambush, political ambush.
But the one we know about is in the night, but this in the night. This is holiday.
No, but I'm telling you, this should not.
But you see, I could agree with the position that you're taking, but
I would campaign for that.
The problem that I have is we have taken our position. Are the other players are miffed by what is happening? They are not. Yeah,
but then we gotta pump some sense in their head.
The other players out there, they embrace everybody as themselves, whereas they forget that where your navel string toy is not exactly where you're from, because a lot of them come here, they born here. They don't have the love for St. Martin. They just want the extra and the more that St. Martin will give to them. And we idiots, and I will say idiots, we idiots ready to give away, we don't give away the bread, we give away the ingredients, now we want to give away the tail, the hot, you know, so we can't reproduce nothing else, okay? This is where they come in with that. Those foreigners who are putting lists and everything together, they have a French passport. Ici c'est la France. So you can't really get vexed with them, but that's to remind them that if they had one drip of blood in them,
you come here and watch you.
Can't watch me.
Okay, yeah, you can put it watch you. Okay, go ahead. If they had one drop of blood in them.
If they had one drop of blood that said love inside of them, they would not demonstrate and do what they are doing. They would say no. If the European come to take St. Martin, we have to stand with our Caribbean brothers and sisters. Yes. But it's not like that, because they have a mission. Their mission is to come here and sit down under we. Their mission is to come and take over. But when they don't help the European take over, they forget the broomstick and turn on them. That's what they forget.
They were going with it. I find, knowing your history of what the European has done to African black people, a Haitian, a Dominican should never tag up against a people like St. Martin. You come here from wherever you come from and we embrace you. We let you do what you got to do to make a better life. Now you're going to join up with a master, with a slave master, who's enslaved you back in your country, got you running from your country because of those same white people, why Haitians can't be in Haiti today. It's because of those same white people what they join up with.
But they forget that.
Well, they better listen to Grassroots this afternoon so they can learn.
Now that you say the Haitian, the same thing can be
for the Dominicanos
for the Dominicanos,
because it's one
where they are dominated by the Americans, where they are controlled by everybody. They are controlled by a local light-skinned class who got no respect for them. Hence the reason why you have to leave your country. And this is not a case against no one. This is a case for us as a people. That's what it is. I also would say, and as you said, grassroots, this is France. This is not France.
No, that's how they put it.
Of course. And I understand. This is not France.
This is not France.
This is a colonial situation where France is oppressing and dominating these people for the longest a while. And we got to make the distinction, not because you are dominating me means today that when you give somebody else a passport, it means that there's my equal. And in France, I'm not no European equal. The highest place I like it to get to make it in France is to go along and live in some little banlieue, infested with Arab religion, and with poverty, with no way out. And the Frenchman is living large in his nice little community. So what we are saying here is this: we want to make the distinction. Don't go run. We want nobody to go along and run with it and say we French. They got nothing.
When I said like that, I meant it like the reason why our politicians and them behaving that way is because they join with the cling that is saying ici c'est la France, so they feel comfortable and they can sit down and leave everything happen. This is the reason why you don't hear nobody talking the way we just speak. They always saying, we's one. We can't tie ourselves to one place. They try all kind of things. It's because they're giving up St. Martin for everybody. They just like they put St. Martin there and everybody must come and rape it up.
Yeah.
You understand? That's why they can agree with the state when they're saying, ici c'est la France. Am I agreeing with it? No. We, the grassroots, will not agree with that. Because we say St. Martin have a people. St. Martin have a people. If I cannot say St. Martin have a people, then I myself, why make children for? What am I leaving for my children? What am I supposed to do? Just sit down and leave everybody come and eat? And I be beggars? No. That's not what I want for St. Martin. This is the reason why the grassroots keep saying, and we're going to continue saying, wake up, get up. get up because St. Martin's supposed to belong to St. Martin people. Me, I don't mind you coming here and living among me, but have respect for me. Why are you going against me and my own country?
Wow.
You take a bold step to put a list together. Come and say, you know what, I'm going to side with the St. Martiners and join a list with them. But you create a list. That means you got no respect for me. You came here to take St. Martin from me because you feel that the scripture you read in the Bible that tells you the land where you walk belong to you. So to hell with the people who you meet on this land. You behave like a master. That's how they behaving.
What I see is that the Indian that get elected on the Dutch side, he didn't went to school St. Martin, but he had a list and they elected him. And then now on the French side, most of these people never went to school, they never participate into our system. No, today they come in, they imposing. So what we gonna see? We got China tongue, we got Arab tongue, we got a Haitian tongue, we got a Spanish tongue with a flag up. And it cannot work, it cannot be possible. Because St. Martin has their own nation, they has also a flag, and they also represent one people, not separate people. And as long as we don't get a clear in our mind, it will always bring conflict. These people haven't invested in this country, they just come, they decide to just put a list. And that time, they never studied no historical site that they could say what they labor and what they have built. They just come and say, okay, this looking good, this is the strategy, and this is how we take over. But the St. Martin people has to wake up. The voting cannot go down the same. We have to vote for people that are able to defend St. Martin people. When I mean defend, that have guts and balls to stand up and say no. Not people that will be going in there and they can't defend us and represent us. Because we have seen too much of that play out for the whole years in the Territorial Council. And if we had a stronger opposition, the stronger opposition will be able to throw overboard the leaders were there.
Shot fire. Oh, you know who get hit? But a lot of people know who to the easy to get hit.
Yeah.
It is what is happening to us has to do with the fact that we are standing up for nothing. We lie down as the
quotation said just now.
The quotation said just now. If you don't stand up for something, then this is exactly what your oppressor, your opportunist, is expecting in you. So when you stand up, he thinks twice. When you stand up, you probably don't move again because everybody you see me coming. If that type of confidence is permitted to spread, and it has spread not because the grassroots didn't start for something, it's spread because it's only the grassroots is standing for something. When you hear on the airwave, we this, we that, and we Caribbean, and we world people, and we multicultural environment, and we multi this and that, and I'm ready to say, not that I don't know if I hear it when they say grassroots racist or whatever. I never hear it, but
I could care less.
But I couldn't care less because I stand for something. So because we stand for something, then we wouldn't end up standing for anything. And this is exactly what. Now, if you spread it out, watch what is happening with the food sector and the Chinese on St. Martin. They're taking over everything. And people going to say, but then, we should, what in the world are people that is marginalized, are people that are not given the tools, that is not protected in what they have. They can't. They have no chance. They have no chance. So it is a lost battle if you don't have the leaders doing their job. And the last bastion of control was politics, the political environment, and the done being eroded already by what is happening in the president cabinet, where no matter what administrative office you go into, they are infested with non-St. Martiners.
Exactly.
And when you say infested, meaning that they are foreign to the environment. Okay, if I go work in a post office in France, I probably, if you give me a job and I'm looking for it, I take it. But if there end up being more St. Martin people than the people of that area, then no, that's an infestation of particular people in their business. There's a difference between tokenism and infestation. And I was surprised by the amount of people I see come out of our office that they wouldn't draw no attention by calling his name. And I said, but no, this is not real. This could have been Paris any day. This could have been a walking down, coming out of a building in Champs-Élysées, for example. And if that was, then it was normal. But in St. Martin, you know, and we know, if you go by the unemployment office, you got hundreds of people that can't find a job, and they are not Europeans. So why are those people not in a job, but you got people coming in and managing?
And don't tell me about category A, B, C, D. Because we got diplomas and we can read and write. This is not back in the years where you could fool St. Martin people by taking and giving them pitons for what they have. No. Okay? These ideologies and strategies have to be noted and well said out so that people can understand, because too much of time, there's too much things that is happening, passing under a tapis, and we don't know about it. They call in St. Martin, ici c'est la France, St. Martin the melting pot. It's for a reason. If they publish in St. Martin as the melting pot, this tells us a lot. This should wake us up and tell us a lot. The melting pot means that we are not even the majority, and they know it. They keep watering us down. And after Irma, what we see, an influx of European that came in to take over the little that is remaining. The multitude, the mountains of it that was destroyed, left there abandoned, sitting and waiting, already sold. And we know who hands it's going to go in. The future will unroll that tapis.
I got another quotation, and it falls bam into this subject that we are engaged in. And it says, or goes like this: une population dont le territoire est planifié par d'autres, aménagé par d'autres, géré par d'autres, exproprié par d'autres et au profit des autres est réduite à l'insignifiance. If I turn that in English, it says, if a population or a territory is planified by others, aménagé mean managed or improved by others, géré, managed by others, expropriated by others, to the profit of others, that population is reduced to insignificance. And that explains everything there. Who plans our territory? Others. Who runs our territory? Others. Who owns this economy? Others. Who are the security forces? Others. Who runs the administrative or the president's cabinet? Mind you well, when they was reorganizing the collectivity, as they say, who come to the forefront? Not the president come and say, we will do it this way. No. It is his chief cabinet, which is a other non-St. Martin, who come and tell the population in his name how things is going to be set up. So others again. Who is planning to take control of our election? Others. Who are the one that is we go to when we are sick? Others. Who are the one that we go to when we have legal problems? Okay? So we are insignificant in St. Martin. Okay? And if you got people who tell you they want to run this country, and how they say, sanctioning that type of politics. They are not us, but they are others also. They are foreign to us. They are what we call wolves in sheep clothing. They're moving among us as if they are sheep too. But in return, they are just as much wolves as the wolves that we are dealing with.
Collaborators.
Okay? Yes, and our destruction. And who are those that is quicker in the positioning that we are taking now? We are not likely to hear from probably the Haitians. We are not likely to hear from probably not from the Dominicans. And if they do, they probably do it between themselves. So that's not an issue. We are not likely to hear it from the European. If they do it, they probably going to do it in their own little quarters. But you know who's going to have the biggest mouth against us publicly? Those sector are wolves in sheep clothing are the one that is going to take into the media and tell you what others tell them to tell us.
That's right.
That's what they do. And we know them. We will hear them going forward. We will hear them leading up to the election. We will hear them lap their tail, sell their mother, sell their children, hoping to sit in the little seat of the presidency on the votes of others that would come after and say, this is what I want you to do. To say, when there's an immigration issue, don't say nothing. And you can't say nothing because other vote give it to you. Okay? And that's what they need to understand. So when their children become sufferers anew or even in a worse state, the problem or the cost did not come from those children, your descendants. It is your cost that they are carrying. And that they need to understand that we are only here for a time. But when we say we are here forever, it is because it is done in stages. I am the descendant of my parent, and my parent are the descendant of her mother. So I am also the descendant of my grandmother, and go as far back as you want. But the success or the failures would have to begin from up there, because my grandmother can't be here forever. My mother or my parents can't be here forever. But we continue as individuals, as a people, as a nation. And when we mess up, it is because the leadership that we got messing up for their children. But they are bringing costs on them. But what they are doing in the process is bringing costs on my own too. Okay? That's what they're doing. They are bringing a cost on my own too. And my own did not do nothing because they are the descendant or ascendant for that matter stood up against all odds. But they will suffer the damnation of darkness. Wolves in sheep clothing who playing the card of others who probably beginning tomorrow, even as we speak, hear them, as they would like to say. They get us a vote. You got to do this to use them. You use them. They're smarter than you. That's what we need to understand. The only way you beat the snake, avoid the snake.
Yep.
Okay? The only way you beat the enemy is fight if you have to fight. Let him get in your territory. And we say St. Martin, we fighting for St. Martin with nobody because it is ours. And if we lose it, it's because we give it up. And somebody got to give it up. I'm not giving it up. We are not giving it up. But it does not belong to us alone. It belongs to us collectively as a people. So if you got a planification that is being put together, people totally, whether you're born here or not, it's got absolutely nothing to do with it. Whether you're carrying a French passport, got
absolutely nothing to do with it. Whether you live here for 50 years and you are not tied to this culture, you are not tied to this experience that is a people, you are not tied to this nation as a people, and you choose or think that it is okay to jump, you're biting the hand that feed you. And it's probably the reason why you would forever
Be a runner.
be a sufferer because of ungratefulness. Ancestors do not like ungratefulness. You keep paying. And this is what they call what? Karma. I ain't going down no road about no hell and no that's a whole different story that I ain't into. I'm saying what you sow is what you reap. That's it.
Mr. Hans, what happening actually now, presently in Guadeloupe? The construction people that own contracts, they modify their contracts and put them on like Ed Solidarity, so they don't get a full pay. So they decide to shut down the country and throw a lot of gravels and cements on the street. And they block each of the county where you just pass the main road and thing. So they react because they see it was done illegal on black and white, and they also react because they see they're going to lose the BTP market. Imagine you invest into big trucks, heavy equipment, and then you see you have no job coming. How could you feed your family? So they decide now to strike. They shut down the whole country. Yep. Here when something affecting us, no one want to speak out. And when they get out of hand, then they want to speak out. And I always know the judgment is real because a lot of people sign things and don't see the consequences. And it takes 7 years for us to break. And many times, they signing these conventions, they signing these agreements, they passing these laws, and thinking that it will be swallowed up St. Martin people through, and you'll be able to échapper. Everything has a payment, and it'll come with a good payment plan. You would not see it now, but your generation, your children will face it.
Yeah, well, we did mention that there is Guadeloupe shutdown, and of course we know it's because of the injustices that, because the same oppressive power, and we must understand that it was one that you went to the continent of our ancestors and take us, hence us. Live is here in the diaspora, but there was a reason for it because of economical hardship back in these European societies. What seems to be happening is that France is encouraging, and I did hear in a speech made by Jacques Chirac in his time, literally encouraging the French people to go abroad. You can't find work, go abroad. But they do not send them abroad just so. They basically have an infrastructure in place to support them, to take care of them when they are in the diaspora. It happened even during the COVID situation where every man was going back home. And we know, for example, in particular, the situation in China where she sent over 2 charter planes to Katok, her people, and China is only used for example's sake here. But we running around wanting to think that this is France or whatever to be. We are no different in classification than a dominated colony in a country in Africa or in Haiti, for example. And I was surprised once I see gendarme Haiti. I asked myself what the BI is. Really, on a farm driving around the people country and they don't little jeep. So I say, what the BI doing here to myself? But so it is not different here. That then would explain why
when their businesses are in difficulties, they get help. That would explain after Irma, we get such a reaction that did not come to, how they say, stabilize who were there, but it was to repatriate as much of them as possible. But because if you were friends, you don't cat out the people of from an area. What you do is you basically try to stabilize the situation. Okay, and there was no reason. If every one of us had wanted to run out of St. Martin, we could have get out of St. Martin. Because it was not politically correct to be able to say, undertaking Europeans. So what they do is they permit you to slip in. But did we not see on videos on Facebook where people were beginning to complain and saying, you are preferring Europeans more than?
Yes.
Okay? So there was this cover that couldn't say, then Grassroots Rosaline, you can't come on. But the mission was not about Grassroots Rosaline or any other black man or non-European at all. Then that would be saying all of that to say this is what is happening in St. Martin. We are being St. Martin, Guadeloupe, or Martinique, and these people are resisting. Is a situation where she's encouraging her people to come out, control the economy, make money, and be able to take care of themselves. So it is not about us, it is about that people. When you ignorant you going around bragging and talking we French people, your mouth should freeze on its way back to close with your stupidness. Because if somebody beating you up and you take up the phone and call the gendarme for assistance, he can ask you who there, how there, but he even don't need to do that. And why he does that is, in your accent, he could decipher that you are not European. But if you are European, they would send a truck full of them to secure them.
Before you hang up the deal.
Before they hang up the deal. For they, not for you. And what also could be said is during the Irma and the shutdown, those little, let me call them water blisters, or little, the first set of them were not done in the black quarters, you know. The first set of those blisters was deposited in the white neighborhood. Okay? So if you want to tell me you come from me, you don't start there. Okay? I saw they had this helicopter used to come out of the East French Quarter area, wherever to be they had their base, and make a run in the lowlands with a floodlight, and then she dump her, she pass over Sandagon on her way in. Because there I'm thinking about, it's not about them, it is about my people who is in the lowlands. Okay? So this is these are the conditions by which we are led, or by which we are being placed here. We are consumers for these people. We are means by which they make their money grow. We are not at a stage where they function next to us. They are at a stage where, if it is about a sandwich and an issue about trying to get one, it is no longer about that. It is right now that if you got a sandwich eaten, they want to take it from you.
But I would say, any country where those Europeans settle, they create havoc. Just think on any nation, especially where black people is. Those European, whether it is from England, whether it is Holland, or whether it is France, as long as Europeans, they create a confusion with the people that are there, and they take over the people's land, they make the people uncomfortable, and they just control you and mess up the country. Mess up the country totally, when they reached there, it was a living, peaceful paradise. Everywhere they go, everywhere they go, everywhere they go. It didn't make sense of holding it back and afraid to say the truth. The truth is those Europeans go and just mess up people's life wherever they go. I will feel like there's the God, they know it better, and there's the one who should set the standard because your standard is not good and you don't know how to do that. The way they does it is better. So from now on, you got to stop doing it your way and do it their way. And you're living there for umpteen years good and comfortable without them, you know. They're going to come in today and tell you, your way is no good no more. That is not a norm. They create what they call
a new
norm of living. When you've been living thousands of years there, you and your grandmother, your great grandfather was there, your father, you know, living, and everything is going smooth and dandy until these devils come in and start to control and take over. They go everywhere and do it.
And bring poverty.
Yes.
They bring poverty to the country, and only they know start to getting rich. And sometimes a lot they come from wherever they come from in Europe. And I ain't talking about France, people alone. I'm talking about all them. Wherever they come from, they come here poor now. And time they leave, the rich out of you. These millionaires, and they living large and they living good. And they got your land, they got your house, they got your life.
We did mention
with these people, man.
That about St. Bart's, and we goes along. But because what happened in St. Martin, the local whites, as we know them, or what we would call local whites, probably were thinking that they were white people.
Yes.
As far as we are concerned, in a vacuum, meaning before the European come. But when the European came, the European did not consider them as white people. They considered them as black people. But
here in St. Martin too.
I'm talking about St. Martin, but somebody smells where I'm going. So we got this tendency to think that St. Bart's is a success. And that St. Bart's people is in control. And Blanchard, Panchard, whoever the Shah is over there running things. And if you see St. Bart's today, St. Bart's ain't nothing about St. Bart's people. St. Bart's is a European enclave for the rich and the famous. Okay? So we should wash out of our head this thought that what that fellow is and say, yeah, he's a sin, he stand up. He is now short of a puppet like any other politician.
And he's a Babette?
And he's a Babette. Okay? And he probably only defended his own turf because he's the last Magre. And this is his last term, I think. After that is finished,
they're gonna run
pure Europe, they're going to run St. Bart's.
Yeah, but they are already running.
They are already running the place. Okay? What we represent for them, not the Babads, they are sufferers just like us, but we don't hear them. Okay? The only advantage that they have is the place immigration-wise were controlled, and because it was controlled, the demand and also the development of apartments and rental places for the immigrants were not encouraged as a policy. So it means that even if you want to go to St. Bart's, you can't go as a regular citizen. You can't afford it. So they create a certain level or standard of living that means that you got money. So that's to keep us out. But we in turn represent the back room. To clean the houses, to wash the dishes, to clean the hotels and the villas. And because of that policy that said that we are not going to go into the housing building, if you were there and you had a house, you make significant amount of money. So that is the only ray of hope for those that have. But the next generation of St. Bart's person, that's it for them. They can't play.
Okay? And that's what is happening to St. Bart's. But I pick only the St. Bart's example to reinforce the thought that it is others that has organized this place for themselves, and that it was never an issue about you French people. You should be ashamed of yourself going around calling yourself French people, Dutch people, because you got a passport. You got a passport by default. Okay? They could not give you a passport. Okay? International law don't permit it, so they give you one, but it gives you no way.
Not give you linear one.
That's true. And a lot of people find out that the passport is loaned. It's not yours own. A quick parenthesis in that direction is Snowden, the guy revealed this ton of document a couple of years ago. Edward Snowden, an American guy working for the CIA, one of those spy agencies, and take a piece of you run. He smelled blood coming. He smelled trouble coming. He run. All they do is cancel the passport, and he had no passport. He had a piece of paper in his hand, but he didn't have a passport, so it didn't worth him anything, and he was a man in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so the same thing goes for us. When you go around saying we French, when they want to just cancel that number in the computer, that's it for you. And just because you ain't one of them, just because you don't look like none of them, you ain't getting no friends. Because you look like an African. What French man you be? I got no trace in my books for you. Who are your descendant? What village did you come out of? What part of France did you come from? North, south, east. What's your family name? What could you answer that permits you to make you a Frenchman? So do we see nationality is not the issue? It is about blood, culture,
That's right.
environment. That is the one that no one can take from you. But I could take your passport. So all you ignorance set out there about you French people, they got take it from you if you overdo it. And if you're going to go do stupidness, and if we St. Martin people go wrong saying, yeah, you talk too much in the hand fly. You're going to find out quickly you are not a Frenchman. Because when you get in the little jailhouse, and the amount of beating and kicking they're going to put on you, you're going to ask yourself, if this, you've one of them. You were never in a house so they could get to do. So stick to your culture, defend your country, understand what the grassroots is arguing here. We ain't talking passport. We ain't talking nationality. We talking nation here. And nation doesn't mean you have to, nationality does not necessarily mean that you have a passport. That's a difference of sovereignty. That's when you can decide to have your passport because others recognize you as such. But as a people, we are a nation. And that's what we stand for. That's what we are defending. That's what we are saying. I want no nonsense madness. Come tell me he organizing a list. I got a problem with Achon. He tell me he's Minister of Economy. I got a problem with somebody coming out of African come telling me that he is Minister of Economy. You could be part of me. We could got common genes. But in terms of nationality, this is for me and mine.
Well, come back on that thing there about them people coming together to form a list. I think that if that exists in the French law, it should be revised. If they want it exist,
it's not our law. They could have it.
Yeah, but we could revise it and say it should not be in St. Martin.
We could accept it.
You want to have it in France? Go ahead, you keep it in France. But for St. Martin is too small to allow something like that to go on. And once we, as a St. Martin people, stand up for it, they got to leave it happen because even if they don't pass it, we ain't going to leave it go. So they're going to have to pass it.
Yep.
So that is a pack of foolishness that should not come to light. It should not reach their light. Daylight in St. Martin.
Well, I always say not under my watch.
Okay, then.
I like to see that happen. It didn't happen.
All right.
Because what happened, when these people have the secret meeting, envelope passing, and all of them like deciding to pull you on a list, and then you fall in the trap, And after they fall in the trap, you come now to sink. We the St. Martin people. That's
No.
the plan.
Yeah, but these people have come here because their life wherever they're from, wherever they come from, was not good. So they decided to leave their country of birth to come in St. Martin to see if they could better their life. You come here, you get your life better. No, you want to mess up my own. Because if you put a party together, you won't mess up my own.
No, they feel when to be bold enough to say that they're coming out with a list. They're coming out to defend, to say like they put a list together that they're coming out. It's because they feel they have enough strength, they gain growth, they gain health, they gain strength to go and stand up. So jump on a plane, run, go with that speed, go do it down there,
Yeah.
do it back in your country. Show them, I came to St. Martin, I learned some strategies, and I ready to stand up and put order where I come from, because it is this order. You come here, you learn something. Don't stand up here against me. Go home in your country and demonstrate.
Yeah.
Show me your strength. But when you come here, you learn strength, and you want to use it on me, we're going to whip you.
No problem.
We're going to whip you.
You have a serious problem.
Well, I like this scenario of saying things. You were hungry. I come down my step, I come through my door. I open my hand to you. I take you in. I feed you, I bathe you, I give you money to take care of your own, even back home. And when you're done, you turn around, tell me you want to rape my daughter. You're looking for me to kill you.
You want to take your house?
But of course, because I'm messing my wife now. And then when you're done now, you're gonna graduate and tell me I want to put you out my house.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down.
That's what I'm going to.
Because if the politicians runs the house, and you tell me you want to run the house, it's because you have to get me out of the way. Then you're putting me out of my house.
Yeah.
Putting out your
I
house.
see this way. I see that all of them that come here, we don't know them as St. Martiners. And I don't know them back home in their country. So I look at it.
Because there's nobody.
Criminals. No, they could be criminals. Say they come in here and they come in with a mafia play and they're able to wipe it out. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
You got my spot.
But it's so messed up that the support that can make they gain power don't depend on us. And that's very dangerous for our country. They could gain power here, political power, without a St. Martin person who want to help them. Their own people going to support them. And that should not be. That should not be existing in a democracy where a people is living and an outsider going to come in and take them over politically. That should not. We got, as St. Martin people, got to stand up against that. Yeah.
We will.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, man. Once that come out, I definitely will be on newspaper. I'm gonna be in radio stations. I'm gonna be kicking hell against that.
I think we plan to put a cost on the local political class that going
Exactly.
to I think we got to spend some
It's
energy and time on them. Literally, not only campaign against them, but campaign against them in every quarters, every nook and cranny in this country.
But I gonna burn fire upon all black, whether they Haitian or Spanish, they're gonna join up with a slave master children to come and say you come and join
to my house.
I'm gonna burn fire upon that.
I would say this, and you would have to know it. They wouldn't tell it to you. In Hispaniola, so Hispaniola would be Haiti and Santo Domingo combined. The dominant power is the Americans on both sides of the border, and they run things. I got no problem with a man having difficulties in making ends meet in his country, having responsibility, come out, raise a family, or take care of their family. But the day you get conscious that you can do something beyond taking care of yourself, then go and go do it back home.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Don't do it
right.
by me.
Yeah.
I don't need nobody to mess in St. Martin people's business.
Exactly.
I have an idea of the level of difficulties that these places has, massive potential, rich country, good capability. But you cannot fix your problem
Back home.
with your best children out of the country. So when you come out and you are able to and you gain some experience, don't turn it on me. Carry it back home and put up a fight and fix that country so that she can get herself out, not because she don't want to, but because you got experience and you should go along back, go contribute to building. What in the world would I be doing with a European political party in St. Martin? I didn't say St. Martin political party in St. Martin. I said a European political party in St. Martin. What in the world would I be doing with a Dominican political party in St. Martin because there are a couple of their children born here? What in the world would I be doing with a Haitian political party in St. Martin? And you going to tell me that you love your country, and you should, but you ain't love it enough to go and fix it. But you plan to fix my own by kicking me in the butt and pitching me out of my house and tell me that I should love that. What we got, Carl?
Good night. Hello? Hello? Good night. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Okay, listen to your phone.
Go ahead, Jesse. Go ahead. Talk.
Okay. Good night. You see again, my brothers again. And what I talking, we must think is a joke. But when we going to understand, that's why I always tell my people, when we going to understand, it will be something else. And to see what I'm talking about. Remember what when Sarkozy had come to put the Prince to the E, how he had said. And what he had said. He had said, is only way we can get what we want below passing parliament or anything, because this setting is a must be. And coming to see what I'm talking about. St. Martin is under an état de droit. That means it's a right to be. It is not for say got to pass through politique or politique want or not or Frenchman want or not. No, it's a must. And see what a man doing. They denying that must be. How they asking Mr. Gibbs all the time. Where is the right to make everything function? He knows it. I always in all conference he's doing is what they're reproaching. He always reproach him. Yes, we got plans, but where's the money got to come from? We got to find the point of A to bring everything forward. But where's the point of A? And to the same point I got IGTG Guadeloupe black and all Guadeloupe today. So it's trying to we to understand is a trying to block that country, block that Caribbean where when we hear that Caribbean got to which we have to be. And until we don't know how we quiet the children the future, that is the future. And anytime we can't bring that for which future, how they refusing them all, they take airport, they take money, they take everything for them. Soon white man self, French man self got a plan to take the land. So where's the future? Where's the benefits? Where's the everything about it? That's what we got to think about. And until we don't put a right to it and come out to make something about it, there's nothing to resist. How much long since Mr. Albert gone? They tell him no more politics. They send a paper for that governor, not politics. tell that governor tolerate politics, tell man in that country tolerate politics to make we afford then when we where they have to be. One man say, don't wait for no politician to be a favor, because tomorrow they take you for slave. What he's doing, what those got to come to do is the same plan they got. Is to keep the right of the country down to bring them forward and them politician with. I don't look for power. I don't look for friends. I look for my right, my people's right, my people's future, my children's future. That's important for me. And that's why we are doing now black. That's what we got to do it. All Caribbean got to do it to show that colonization what is time and what time to be. And that's the time to jump, my brothers. Respect. Good night, my brothers.
Good. Yes, Jesse, you was on fire tonight. The only little thing that freak me out with you is you look like you can't move beyond Sarkozy. Since then they had Hollande and they got Macron. Come up, Jesse. But yes, I got your point. I feel your energy. But I also must say that the Caribbean has nations, so I don't know if I want to worry with the Caribbean per se. We are not a sovereign nation. We are a nation, yes. We are not a sovereign nation, meaning we don't go to decide our affair. And we do have a problem with those who is part of a sovereign nation wanting to interfere with our possibility of becoming a sovereign nation. And the day that we become a sovereign nation, I want it to be one of our children to be. I don't want it to be nobody else's child. I want it to be our child, one of ours. It is the most basic human law, self-preservation. If you don't preserve yourself, then you can't survive, and you then cannot transmit, or you cannot procreate, or meaning have children. We have children, so the St. Martin that I want is for my own, or ours for that matter. I want it for nobody else. I was not brought up to vivre ensemble. I was brought up to vivre entre nous, or St. Martin belong to nous or us, and that we should know that as a people there are things and values that we don't want to lose, that we know are uniquely ours, that we know that we are a convergence of just a blessing in a good word. I don't kill me when I invent these brand new words, but then give me that you want to walk with. So that we don't want to lose. We good with it. I'm a product of the St. Martin culture. I was brought up by St. Martiners. I was nurtured by St. Martiners. I'm part of a culture that is St. Martin, and not only that I have no interest in nothing else, I was learned or taught to love it, protect it, and transmit it.
I remember I visited the island of St. Lucia. And when I did visit there, to my surprise, I learned that my father back home in his country was one of the top lawyers. He used to work with government.
Your father was a lawyer?
Yeah, he was one of the top lawyers. So when I grew up after, and I asked him, but how come you never really interest, in St. Martin politics or what's happening, please? He said, no, I don't hold a French passport. So that's not my place to get involved. And then after he was telling me, when he came out of St. Lucia, he also had a skill. So he developed his skill, what he had. So he always used to say, you need to stay in your place. And when you come in other people's country, you respect the other people's decision. And this is where he never really fight to get a French passport, because he know he had his St. Lucian background belief in what he was doing in St. Lucia. And it's the same thing that a lot of foreigners have to understand. They need to stay in their place, and they also need to know that the affairs of this land belongs to the people of this land.
We ain't got to go in another
Well, we have to 5 minutes or 2 seconds of it, whatever the word.
Yeah.
And that it just would be an improvement on, update rather, on our last week discussion. Should we be going? The question was, should we be going back home? Is that a word? So Grassroots X-Ray did some research and find out, but he didn't lie to us. He said he want to go.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
and he found that depend on the nation that you come from, there are certain particular areas that ends up having preference.
Yeah.
So the Americans apparently love Ghana.
The American love Ghana, and not only love Ghana, the Ghana government in 2019 or 18
offers up a lot of land.
yeah, they offered them some land. They also apologized for what happened to them with the slave trade.
Not no better.
Yeah, they couldn't do nothing, but I was sorry for what happened so long that the African haven't reached out to the diaspora, you know, and they even have a place set up so that you could get all your documents in place, because you can't go live Ghana without having proper legal documents. So all that is set up for you, setting up where you could get land to buy, and they're saying now is the best time to come to Africa is now.
Yeah, man.
For some reason, the people from England, they more tied to, they go more to Namibia, and what's the next place name again? Zambia? No, I can't remember the name. But what I would encourage people, anybody who interesting in knowing more, getting information, go on YouTube and type in why American going back to Africa, why the people from diaspora going back to the motherland. Type in anything like that on YouTube, and they're going to give you all information. And type in where's the best place for.
We also know the francophone set, meaning those who mainly speak French.
Yeah.
Prefers those French dominated, like Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, Senegal, or whatever to be. So, but that doesn't mean it's necessary. Some people ends up have a call for a particular region in Africa, which means a special vibration that said, this is where I want to go. And Manuel, it is the biggest and bigger than we are led to believe continent on this face of this earth. It is the richest continent on the face of this earth.
Oh, yeah.
And no matter what they tell us about population reduction, Africa got land for her children.
Got land for all of us.
Okay.
I was listening to, because there's a lot of chats, and there's a lot of videos also you could go on YouTube and listen to. And I was listening to a conversation type of talk show online where the Americans now who living back in Africa opening business. So one of the African who was on the show also was saying that the African doesn't like that the American coming back to Africa and burn up the land because they got more money. So this guy who got business there for the past 6 years say, what you prefer? You prefer for the Chinese to continue buying up, and when a Chinese open business, he don't hire African. He hire your own Chinese people. If you do take one or two, is to enslave them. But we, the American, we are giving jobs to the African because they're coming with a conscious mind. You know, they're going back to the motherland. So they would tell him that it is better for we to come back home. You open up our arms, welcome us, because you make a better living with us. Because when we work with you all, we work with as a black. Because they hire black.
Yes, the to engage, going back to Africa, does require a certain state of consciousness that permits you to want to do it.
It does.
So that in itself is important to know or to think that you ain't gonna go back to Africa to go
To look for a
exploit your
job.
people.
And also, do you want to come back looking for a job? No, come back there with your expertise. Come back with some
And
money
contribute.
and contribute to the continent.
Yes, of
which
course.
which makes sense. You know, you can't go over there saying you're going to look for a job in a restaurant.
Give my break.
Bring something back.
Yeah, you're going there to create.
But we don't need to end up with the impression that the system would like to have us think. I guess where the attention on that.
Yeah.
That says that we have to be perfect. We would make mistakes along the way.
Of course.
We just would have to just engage.
Yeah.
That's the critical part.
Yeah.
So
the good thing about it is a lot going on. A lot. We would be blown away with the amount of consciousness that the Americans, the Jamaicans, the Trinidadians, England, the Africans also. We are very, 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 very.
Very intelligent.
Yes, man. So
giants,
it's
electron giants.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Oh, they're on the subject.
yeah. About coming back, about nation building. Yeah. Folks, that's it. Maybe burn our time out of here until next week. So enjoy the rest of your week, and you know how it is, you know. Stay safe, stay good. You know how things going on with the coronavirus, foolishness what's going on. So don't take no chance with it. Safe way is the best way. Don't do no stupidness at all, because you want to take that vaccine for true.
No, you want to cemetery.
So, folks, until then, we gone. I'm going to leave you with a song. Which song you clear for us? Mama Africa, for the man, Chill Lyrics. See ya.